been a little while, hasn't it?
Yeah, blast from the past. Of like a month ago or whatever.
So our apologies. We didn't mean to take a break that long. A couple of things came in the way. One, obviously, we got caught up in Crimson Spires, one of our patron picks that wound up going a little bit long. Two, we had a couple of other things we wanted to get in order before we got to episode 8, just to make sure that they were ready for when we're done. I'm just going to keep vaguely alluding to that stuff. It's nothing huge, but like we wanted to ensure that it was on the right track.
3, I had to go to the other side of the country and fucked up our recording schedule.
There's also that Vivian was away for a while, and we didn't want to get in media Umineko theorizing, and then have you leave for a week.
Yeah.
That would have sucked. So, I think without further ado, it's finally time to play this fucking chapter. Episode 8, Twilight of the Golden Witch. Good morning. To think that this is goodbye brings me great sadness as well. I have prepared a farewell party for this night. There will be a game tournament as well, so I ask that you participate with vigor. Like pepper, the difficulty comes in tiny yet spicy grains. Why not participate yourself, now at the very end? Huh.
That's interesting.
Well,
That's interesting. Why not participate yourself now at the very end? That worries me.
That worries me. Suddenly, like, options come up at the very end.
Oh, God. Is that what's going to happen?
No, it absolutely won't.
What if that's what happens?
It's not impossible to do well. Like, I'm thinking about other games that are mostly, like, linear but have 1 or 2 branch points, and it's fine, but it seems a little gimmicky. I don't think that... I think it would cheapen part of the point that how you're supposed to interact with this game is by thinking about it, not by making selections.
Fair enough.
Regardless. Crack one open, everyone. It's time for EP8. Hold on.
Why did chains rattle when it showed that this story is very obviously fictional and fantastic?
I heard the chain rattling as well, and I wasn't quite sure what to make of it.
Oh.
Oh, hey, we're back here in the chapel. So remember, the last one ended with... Oh, I like this track.
Yeah,
with
it's really
Bernie
good.
and Battler having different plans for what they wanted to do. Battler wanted to tell Ange a story that she could, believe in, and Bernie was trying to assure them that they could never have a happy ending. So. 2 silhouettes could be seen in the chapel. A big brother and a little sister. The big brother who would never return from that day 12 years in the past, and the little sister who waited all alone 12 years in the future. However, the big brother knew everything, understood everything, and the little sister knew nothing, understood nothing. So no matter how much time had passed, the little sister remained as the girl she had been 12 years before. She remained a 6-year-old girl forever. I'm 1,000! Her sobs into his chest finally subsided. She quietly waited for his next words. After patting her head gently, the big brother fished around inside his shirt pocket. Then he took that out. Ooh, are you listening, Angie? Take good care of this, all right?
What is it? A key?
Battler took a large key attached to a necklace out of his pocket, then held it out to Angie. It was large enough to cover his entire palm. That is one fucking ornate key. And little Angie probably wouldn't even be able to wrap her hand all the way around it. The key glittered gold and had a beautiful, intricate design. Its weight alone made it clear that this key was something very important. Battler put the necklace around Angie's neck. This precious key is yours alone. Tiny Angie!
Tiny Angie!
Tiny Angie! Oh my god! All those cries we had for Tiny Angie! Finally we get what we wanted without the monkey paw.
What's it for?
Hold on.
Even tinier, Angie!
Even tinier. I don't... I like what it's going, but then the eyes, you know what I mean? They're just like huge. I guess they are kind of bigger on a younger kid, but still. Yeah.
Battler's too pointy in the new art.
Is he?
Yeah, he's all pointy.
Oh yeah, he's all pointy and shit. Meh.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
Now he's round and friend-shaped.
Exactly. The time to use it will come soon. When it does, you'll have to decide for yourself. Do you understand? Of course, she didn't have a clue what Battler was saying, but she did realize that he was telling her to take good care of this key. So Angie nodded, at least in response to that part. In her hand, the key had felt heavy. However, now that it was around her neck, it felt light as an ordinary necklace. How strange. Okay, let's go.
Where to?
She had been sure that her brother was about to sit down. After all, just a second ago, he said that he'd tell her what happened on Rokkenjima that day. She'd expected him to tell her here. On that day, on that island. Oh.
On that day? On that island? Just what is it that happened? Oh.
I guess I'm sorry.
Damn it.
On that day, on that island. Just what is it that happened?
I thought you were going to tell me about that, Oni-chan.
Absolutely. And you'll be given the chance to listen. However, to you it may not feel as though you're merely listening to a story.
What does that mean?
What you really want isn't to know what happened on the island that day. Remember, that's the first order wish. But what you really want are the second and third order things behind it, right? Like, you got to keep digging to find the real wish that you want to grant. That idea came from Tsubasa that we were told to read before we started this. So he does understand after all. What happened on that island that day? Oh. Ryukishid.
So he does understand after all. What happened on that island that day? Trying to answer that question was all I was capable of, so I wished for nothing more. But if I could, I'd want to go there. To that island. On that day. To Rokkenjima. On that day I couldn't go. To the Ushiromiya family mansion. To Mom and Dad. To all the cousins, all the relatives. And everyone else. I want to go back to that island on that day. So I remain the way I was on that day. My heart and soul stuck as a 6-year-old's forever. I want to go home.
I know.
Mom, Dad, Oni-chan, everyone. I want to go home to where everyone is.
That's why I've decided to invite you there.
Huh?
Your Oni-chan is the game master now. Only those who know everything about the game board can open it up and invite pieces in. So I'll invite you to come onto the game board.
You'll take me to Rokkenjima on that day?
That's right. I'll invite you to the Rokkenjima of 1986.
Will I be able to see everyone?
The version of Rokkenjima where you still threw up that morning but decided to get on the plane anyway. We made a bunch of bad decisions, all right?
Power through it.
Maybe take some like Benadryl or something, I don't know. Of course you'll be able to see everyone.
Even though my memory is vague and I can't remember anyone's face clearly.
You'll remember soon enough. And though it'll be a reunion after 12 years for you, it'll only have been a short gap for us. Everyone will welcome you. When you finally return from the distant future, everyone will welcome you.
Will I be able to stay there forever? This way I can be with everyone forever. This is the goal I'm supposed to reach.
Angie, I want you to listen to me carefully. But Battler spoke in an admonishing tone.
As though warning me that this was a dream that wouldn't be granted.
The Rokkenjima family conference usually ends after a single night. Because of the typhoon that day, the boat couldn't come and it lasted for 2 nights.
So, when the typhoon passes, I'll have to leave the island again?
Not exactly. That decision is yours as well, Angie. You'll decide that for yourself.
I understand, of course. I don't exist on that island on that day. It's a miracle just to be invited there like this. Just the 2 days before the typhoon passes, just getting those 2 days to myself is already the sort of miracle that'll never come again. If I'm greedy enough to ask for more, that faint miracle might vanish. Even though I thought this, my young heart, which was still 6 years old, wasn't satisfied with such a short-lived miracle. I don't want to leave.
I know you don't.
I'll be with everyone forever. I'll stay with my family. Even if Oni-chan says I have to head back, I'll stay on Rokkenjima.
You can stay or you can leave, but it's not as though one of those is the right choice. That's not how it works, Angie.
Even so, you'll let me choose?
Yes, I will. That is what the key is for. Battler touched the glittering key that hung from Angie's neck.
I've already made my decision.
You don't have to decide now. The time to choose will come soon. And when it does, you must use your honest heart to choose how you will use that key. You don't need to listen to anything your Oni-chan tells you. You're free to choose your answer in any way that you like. However, if you're a good kid, and if you can trust your Oni-chan,
If I can,
then believe everything that Oni-chan says.
I'll believe all of it.
That'll lead to the best choice for you. Listen to your Oni-chan's words and believe everything. Can you do that?
I don't know.
That's all that is asked of you. Well, that's good enough. Believe whatever you want to. That is also a choice that you can make.
If I don't believe Oni-chan, will I wake up from this dream?
That won't happen. So, don't worry about it. For some reason, Angie was suspicious of her brother and scared of him. Her wish was to remain on that island on that day, together with her family forever. She was afraid that once she got her 2 miraculous days, her brother might tell her to be satisfied with that and return to 12 years in the future. I already told you, there is no right decision. You can go, or you can stay. That is for you to decide. And you don't need to make your decision right now.
And no one will force me to make either choice.
Of course not.
And Oni-chan won't tell me to go back to the future? Title drop.
I don't think that counts as a title drop. That hasn't been invented. Wait, yeah, it was. Yeah, that has been invented yet. Never mind. That was funny. High five. There is a choice your Oni-chan wants you to make. Even so, Oni-chan wants to respect your decision and let you reach it of your own accord, regardless of what it happens to be.
And I just told you, I've already made my choice.
And I just told you, now isn't the time to choose.
When will it be time?
The key will tell you. I like how we've spent all this time talking about, like, 6 chosen by the key, right? And it just being a metaphorical key. And now there's just a big fucking literal key. Because why not? Oh yeah, this is the key, by the way. This is the key. It'll choose. The large gold key hung from Angie's neck. Her small hand held it tightly. At that moment, she noticed a book lying on the chapel's altar. The book had a lock on it and was sealed so that it could not be read without a key. Angie looked between the key hanging at her chest and the book on the altar.
Will this key unlock that book?
Don't touch that book! His sudden, forceful response made Angie flinch. Battler, realizing that he had scared Angie, softened his expression. Come on, let's go. I am inviting you to come back to October 4th, 1986.
Okay.
Battler held out his hand, and Angie gripped it tightly. Then they started walking. A brilliant light lay beyond the chapel's door. That blinding light peeked in through the cracks around the door. The brother and sister began to walk through the other side. Because that book has the final game he wrote for Beato in the last chapter, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Welcome back, Angie. This will be the last time. I'm opening this game board one last time for you.
Yeah.
I am strapped in and strapped on. The game board is being opened one last time just for Angie's sake, huh?
Yeah.
Gonna get that girl some closure?
Hope so.
Oh, look at how sad he is. Oh, yeah, he closed his eyes while looking off in the distance contemplatively. That's the good shit right there. Is that Leon and Will again?
Sure is.
They're still hanging out? Yeah, where else do you think we're gonna get those tacos? Sorry, nachos. Actually, no, we already had nachos, now we're moving on to tacos. Just working our way down. Why are they so small?
What?
Why were Lambda and Bernie so small?
I don't know.
They were so tiny. Showing Rudolph and Kyrie in front of the stakes. It's an interesting. I mean, now, obviously, because now that we know that Kyrie is one of the main instigators of, stabby murder times.
I'm still so annoyed that we were suspicious of Kyrie, but not for the right reasons in any way, shape, or form.
It was
and
very,
didn't get there.
Yeah. I don't think we were quite. We were suspicious, and we had noticed some of the signs, but we couldn't put them together the correct way.
Yup.
I think I found it difficult to articulate exactly why what was worrying me about her character.
Yup.
Maybe if we had picked at that scab a little more, we could have gotten that, but oh well, we're gonna have to hold the cell. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh my god, I haven't done Maria voice in forever.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Fall, fall, fall.
Once again, Captain Kawabata's ferry boat to Rokkenjima cut across the sea in perfect form. Yes. The tale of October 4th, 1986 always begins with Battler's screams. But this time, one thing was different. There was another yell alongside Battler's. Battler was screaming. The other was laughing. Ball! 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 Oh no!
Fun, fun, fun!
We just got an achievement called How Long It's Been, featuring Battler and Tiny Angie. Tangy. I can't express how happy I am that we finally got Tiny Angie. Even at the very end, I'm just so happy.
Ew, Battler's face looks so funny. Yeah.
Alongside the big brother, who was grasping at the handrail and screaming in a way that no one his age should scream, was the little sister, also grasping at the handrail and jumping about like it was a ride at an amusement park. George and the others just couldn't hold in their laughter at the difference.
I guess Battler-kun hasn't changed much these past 6 years.
Oh, hey, it's George! Punch right in the face. Sorry. I have it, I guess. Have it?
He's as energetic as ever. Plus, Angie and Maria look more cheery than usual this year. Could this be the first time we've had all 5 cousins together? Oh, is it? I get it. That explains why it's noisier this year than any year before.
George, Aniki, this is way too fast, right? I'm begging you, ask the driver to slow down before it's too late.
Yeah. This is too fast. Battler's so pathetic.
I want to go faster.
Oh God, there's 2 of them now.
2 of them.
Maybe more.
Faster, faster.
Any faster than this and I'll fall right off the boat. Will that make you happy? I'm gonna fall.
I think this is George, maybe.
Going by popular vote, I'd have to say that Battler Kun's proposal is...
Reject it.
Oh. All right. I don't know who rejected it.
I don't know who rejected it. Look out, Onii-chan. Look, you're gonna fall.
Scaredy cat battler needs to be punished. Tickle time. Gee. Oh, wait, stop, Maria. You too, Angie. Oh, no.
Thank goodness. Oh God, I forgot about Kyrie. It's been longer than because we recorded the last episodes I think in July.
Damn.
So it's been a little bit longer than it's been on the than it seems on the channel. So give us a moment to get back into.
Thank goodness. I was worried about Angie's health, but
Be too sad to leave her behind at home, huh? I'm glad we decided to bring her anyway.
Yeah, glad that we brought her to this year's murder, death, kill.
Could you call it something a bit more respectful, honey?
wasn't she very sick shortly before you left? She was all better this morning. Kids can be so incredible sometimes.
She's the kind of person whose health takes a hit when she's stressed. It's not that strange for people like that to get all better when the big day finally comes. She must really have been looking forward to playing with all 5 of the cousins together.
Just watching them play together makes you feel charged with energy, doesn't it?
The adults smiled as they watched the children play around.
Angie, who had gotten very sick, and who everyone had thought would be absent, made a miraculous recovery. Thanks in part to her strong desire to join in, she had come along to the family conference with the others. And so, for the first time ever, all 5 cousins were gathered together. October 4th, 1986 became a day like no other. Is Angie still going to receive a letter? Yeah. With one of the keys in it. Also, she was really excited about joining the murder death kill this year, wasn't she?
Oh, yeah.
The kids dashed up the path leading from the harbor to the rose garden. They were probably so charged up that even walking was too boring for them. Oh, see that? First place, hell yeah! Bachelor was the first one to reach the rose garden, which was the goal. Apparently, he was trying to make up for the dishonor he had suffered on the boat by proving his superiority on land. I'm not a nautical unit. I get movement bonuses on land, not water. If you want to walk over water, you need one of those pirate units.
I established air superiority by grilling and eating all the seagulls.
They were tasty.
I think it is pirate. Someone who's played Fire Emblem 1 more recently than I have, let me know if I'm right about that. It's been a while. A short while later, Angie and Maria reached him in a dead heat.
I'm second. I'm faster than Angie.
No, you aren't. Maria One-chan cheated. I'm second.
The 3-year gap between Angie and Maria was large, especially since both of them were growing kids. It was only natural that Maria was faster, but Angie seemed to be complaining about a shoulder bump at the start line. Maria One-chan cheated, so she gets last place. Teacher always says you get last place if you cheat. Protested Angie.
Come on, no need to fight. Still, both of you really are fast.
Gotta go fast.
It's been a long time since I've run that much. The breeze feels so nice.
Oh, are you out of shape, Jordaniki? You know, anyone who has to run the race to make it before the bell every day gets strong legs by default. Oh.
In other words, being a fast runner is proof that you sleep in a lot.
Hey, I sleep in later because I can make it there quicker. It's a delicious cycle. Also, they make kids get up way too early to go to schools every day. They know it's better for them academically if they start later in the day, and yet we choose to make them go in early anyway. I wonder why.
Oni-chan always sleeps in. He didn't wake up today either, so I had to wake him up. Right?
Oh, a stomp followed by a flying elbow, and that body plex from the top rope at the end there just about finished me.
That sounds more likely to put you in an eternal sleep.
Oh, tombstonered. And Angie comes in with the pile driver.
Yeah, it sounds fun. I want to do it too.
I'll bet Oni-chan sleeps in tomorrow, too. We'll wake him up together this time, okay?
Oh, that's foreboding.
I'd recommend against staying up too late tonight.
Finally, the adults came into sight. The cousins waved at them, urging them to hurry up. Angie and Mario were so excited that they could hardly wait. Just by having all 5 cousins together, just by adding Angie into the group. Look at how energetic this day has become. Yeah, it does feel a lot less somber and foreboding, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just with Angie and Mario to kind of feed off of each other's energy.
Yeah. Wonder how that's gonna go south.
Yep. Can't wait to have Angie's... Oh, yeah, hold on. Actually, before we get here... Hey!
Tiny Angie.
Tiny Angie! What's she gonna do? What's she gonna do, Tiny Angie? Rudolph
What
and Kira...
confuses me is she still the same height as her other sprites were, but like proportionally smaller?
No, it's just because they're a little bit squished.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's it's just like how can you make them fit in this space? You know.
I was really concerned because I was like, that seems to be not too much a height difference from Battler, which
Right?
seems wrong.
You want to read your tip screen since it's the only time we've gotten this one?
I'm Ushiromiya Angie. I'm Rudolph and Kyrie's daughter. I'm Battler's younger sister from a different mother. I get sick easily, but I managed to get better just in time to attend this year's family conference. I'm so happy this year, surrounded by my beloved family and relatives.
I bet you are. The son of Rudolph and his first wife, Osamu. Oh wait, these tips are really... No, that's pretty much the same.
Yeah?
Yeah. What's on the next screen? What do we have?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet, but just Shannon menacingly in the background. Like, you're not supposed to be here yet. What are you doing?
What does it say for Shannon? Is she on the screen?
The young but experienced...
Oh, yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, okay, I see.
This is all quite normal. We're pretending everything's
very normal. And no tips.
I'm really good at pretending everything's normal.
Everything is awesome.
Excuse me, the family members have arrived.
So they made it. I must let Father know. You're right. Father. I must go let Father know, right? Right, everyone?
They all in the guest house now.
Right? Am I laying it on too thick, Natsuhi? I'm not very good at this.
Yes, they are. They will meet you here after they have set down their luggage.
That's Nazi.
Understood. Cannon, please show them the way. Shannon, quickly get some tea ready.
As you wish,
As you
madam.
wish, madam.
Father, it's me, Kraus. It's about time for you to get ready. Smells like embalming fluid.
After Kraus knocked on the door, it opened from the inside.
Oh, Dr. Nanjo, how is Father doing?
Who are you calling nervous?
Oh, all right, we're playing this game. I guess this is all for Angie's benefit, right? We're trying to give Angie the...
Yeah.
Battler wants to give Angie the happy ending, the happy version of events that she could never have. And Bernie's going to be like, no, I ain't going to let you.
No, I cannot find my favorite one-winged necktie pin. And my shirt has little Pac-Mans on it.
I always thought that was an aesthetic choice.
How many times must I tell Natsuhi?
Waka waka waka, am I right?
My possessions must never be moved without my approval.
Apparently, Kinzo had been running around for some time just because he couldn't decide on a tie and a tie pin. Kinzo, who always felt that the dignity of the family head must be preserved, usually made a big deal about the head's attire being equally dignified.
Ah, will he make it in time? Give us a little longer. Understood. I'm counting on you, Dr. Nanjo. You and your quite elegant way of explaining things. I will miss that dearly. Father, I must say that the necktie pin looks splendid on you.
This necktie pin, you say? This pin? The family conference is held but once a year. There shall be no compromise. I must have that necktie pin. Where is it? Where?
Why am I not used to the fucking whiplash of starting a new Umineko episode?
You think so?
Clever Nanjo.
So, I don't need to use the one-winged eagle pin.
As Kraus watched Nanjo calm Kinzo down, he started finding it hard to believe that this doctor wasn't his own mother. Damn! Tell him how you really feel. Well, it was always like this. He always makes a fuss when no one's looking, but when the time comes, he makes his decision with pride. After asking Nanjo to come down by lunch at the latest, Kraus snuck out of the study. God.
Oh, what do you think? A splendid aroma, is it not? And a unique one, too.
I've never had pumpkin tea before.
It'll be all the rage when fall rolls around in, like, I don't know, the late 90s?
Why do they call it pumpkin tea when it's the spices that it smells like?
Right? Kind of fucked up that people then expect it to be put pumpkin in it. It's not pumpkin, it's pumpkin spice. It's a different thing.
And yet a trace of the true self remains in the false self.
Oh yeah, gotta like frozen dino nuggets.
That little touch of sweetness makes it delicious.
As one step in preparing the tea for the guests, Goda let Shannon try a bit first. Until then, Shannon had thought it would be outrageous for a servant such as herself to drink the same thing as the family and their guests. Oh, did she? Did she really? However, according to Goda, that kind of thinking was a mistake.
One must not serve something if one does not know the taste beforehand, after all. For example, when you visit a restaurant and a dish you've never heard of catches your eye, what are you likely to ask the waiter? How does this dish taste, correct?
I see. So if the waiter says that he's never eaten it before, that would seem a bit odd.
Yeah, precisely. As a matter of course, anyone serving their customers must be deeply acquainted with the taste of the tea and the food they serve.
And you'll always feel happier serving a sort of tea that you've tried and enjoyed for yourself.
That's right. After tasting tea this delicious, I can't wait to let everyone else try it.
Pushing up my glasses menacingly. And because of that, we servants must be very familiar with the taste of all sorts of foods. If you catch my drift. That's why sampling food whenever I can is a part of my job description.
Did you not catch where she was going with that from the first second?
Oh, it's a perk as well as our job, right? You understand?
Yes.
Oh, protect that smile. Or at least attempt to.
Everything is proceeding smoothly. Are there any problems with the tea? Oh, Genji-san, you must try some as well. Seeing as it's almost Halloween, I decided to make some pumpkin tea. Hey! Later, perhaps. The family will be arriving at the mansion very soon. It looks as though the children will be joining in.
Yes, sir. The cups are ready to go as well.
At that moment, the kitchen's extension line started to ring. Genji, who was standing right beside it, swiftly picked up the receiver before the second ring. Shannon and the others always thought that Genji looked like a samurai when he did this.
I don't know how to feel about that, but thank you. Understood. Take care when guiding them.
After giving that short response, Genji set the receiver down.
That was canon. The relatives will be here shortly. The children are with them. Shannon, Kumasawa, go to serve them. Goda, hurry up with that tea.
Oh, yes, sir.
I didn't join in on that one because I can't do two voices at once.
The family...
I can.
What? Oh my god!
I've been practicing
That's
for
fucked up.
years.
All right. Let's hear me you do it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
You can only
Here's
hear
two
it on the
voices at
inside.
once.
How the fuck did you do that? Oh my god!
The family conference. It was the largest event of the year for the servants. They were all excited and determined to make it through together once again this year.
Determined to make it through together, huh?
Crow-sama, I have led the relatives here.
Oh, there you are. Were there any troubles on your trip here?
Nay-san, you've been doing pretty well for yourself lately, haven't you? Isn't it about time you bought a private jet? Maybe did some aerial photography of the island or something? I think that's something that we as rich people in the 1980s could definitely afford to do with this land we own. But I'm not going to bother mentioning it again, because I know I'm stuck on a losing argument here.
After all, no one was in the plane but the family as usual.
I'm glad Ange-chan made it.
I feel like that one line from Hideyoshi was dropped in there specifically to counter some like fringe theory that someone had stuck to up till this point. You know what I mean? It just feels like one of those, and let me drop some exposition moments.
I was so worried when I heard she was too sick to come.
Thank you for your concern. She suddenly got all better this morning.
My tummy ache went away. I rubbed my tummy clockwise.
Ew, that's a magical ritual to heal tummy aches.
Now, Maria, quiet down.
Notice how Rosa hasn't hit Maria or done anything like that yet. With Angie there providing a very stark counterexample of how to deal with a younger child, and maybe also moderating some of Maria's the things that Rosa finds difficult to deal with in Maria.
Yep.
Maybe that won't happen. We are trying to go for happy end, right?
Oh, is that Battler-kun? You've grown so big.
It's been 6 years, hasn't it? You've grown splendidly.
Oh, well. Oh, I do keep getting bigger at least, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Everyone know what I'm talking about taller. I'm growing. I'm getting bigger. That's just what happens.
Can't really say that about his guts, though.
Oh, hey.
I'm just happy to learn he's still the same old Battler-kun.
You, I mean, what? Did you think something else about me changed? I just took some tea, that's all.
Again, dying on this hill. Battler may be bigger, but he's still Battler.
This brat's always been terrified of falling off planes and boats and stuff. How come he never died like that during any of the... Because, right, he never dies during the things. Never mind. I'd say that'd be a delightfully ironic way for him to die one of those times, but I guess... Yeah.
That must be Asamu-san's blood, right?
When he was a kid and we went to theme parks, he always went on some of the wilder rides. Probably what did it to him.
Don't they have height restrictions for those?
No, I don't mean that kind. You know, those paddle boats and teacup rides, right? You know, the real high-octane stuff. It's like we took those a bit too rough back in the day.
What? There's something really... I don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here defend Rudolph, but there's something really wholesome about the way that he shits on Battler. You know what I mean? Because, it's clearly coming from a place of love rather than, a place of trying to of hatred.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he picks on him all the time, but it's kind of like a reassuring thing.
Yeah. You've always gone a bit overboard on rides like that, Rudolph Nissan.
I didn't realize that the teacups weren't a challenge.
I see. Poor Battler-kun.
Poor Battler-kun indeed.
Still, it's comforting in a way. Even after all this time, nothing says Battler-kun like a fear of riding things.
Why are we harping so much on this?
I don't know. Oni-chan isn't scared of riding things. He's just scared of falling off them.
Thank you for that very important distinction, Angie.
Ball.
God, we're gonna get so many of that sound effect.
Hey, stop running around. Maria, you're one of the big cousins now, right? Set a good example. Pardon me, I brought some tea for everyone.
A pleasant aroma followed Shannon as she came into the room, pushing a serving cart. Even Angie and Maria, who had been running around in circles, sat down obediently when they heard that drinks were here.
Do you wonder why I keep chuckling every so often while I'm trying to narrate? It's because I keep remembering like random memes our Discord have sent us, and I can't just like share them out of context because it's not funny. So I just have to like giggle to myself and then move on really fast.
By the way, what's Dad doing? He should be down here pretty soon. He's been rushing about all morning trying to choose a tie.
You mean all of that about choosing an attire suitable for the family head?
Father's always been picky about ties, hasn't he? It's just something he has a passion for. Staying stylish is a good thing.
And yet, he always ends up wearing the same tie in the end.
You're not gonna. It says the family members burst out laughing. I did the laughter, and you were just gonna let me sit there and do it myself. Wow. Wow. We've been doing this for over half a decade, and you haven't learned to read these moments ahead of time?
You can get these things from context. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying.
I see.
The family members burst out laughing, which we will now demonstrate. See? How hard was that? The sweet scent of Goda's specially made pumpkin tea spread throughout the parlor, and the calm atmosphere grew more cheery and excited.
Look, Mama, it's a pumpkin cookie for Halloween.
Oh, that's right. This sweet scent is kabocha, isn't it? That's right. Today we have some special pumpkin-flavored tea for you to try. It really is delicious, so I suggest that you try some without sugar first.
And Nason, watch your sleeve, please.
Wow, so kabocha tea actually does exist. Goda-san really did his homework. Delicious. This is excellent. You can taste the kabocha's natural sweetness.
Oh, kabocha tea, huh? Still, kabocha always tastes best in tempura.
What is that?
We're sure harping on this a lot, and I can't tell if it's an important detail or if it's just a cute little thing that's meant to humanize the cast and get you to love us more, like my cute little snaggletooth there. You see that? Oh, yeah, the ladies all die for that snaggletooth. I'm trying to buy you time while you look this up on Wikipedia.
Oh, I did not realize that you were just stalling for time. Kabocha is just a type of squash.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, that makes sense. An autumnal kind of thing.
Oh, but it can also mean other types of squashes, like a pumpkin.
Right. Okay. So
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So kabocha pumpkin tea. Okay.
It had me confused because cha tea. I figured that it would be the cha as in tea.
Oh, is kabo mean like pumpkin or something? And
no,
maybe...
kabocha means squash.
Oh, kabocha means.
But cha also means tea.
I see. Okay.
So
you thought that cha was them appending the word for tea to it.
Yeah, and that a kabo was something.
Yeah. Okay.
But no.
Fair enough. Of course, I was trying to buy you. I saw you looking at your phone, so I was like, I can stall for time until you've got your answer.
Okay.
Again, this is one of those unspoken things that we've been building up together for the past 5 years.
You can get these from context.
Yeah, whoa. It's pumpkin, not kabocha.
Yeah, pumpkin is different from kabocha. This is pumpkin.
Maria seemed to think that the English word was more fitting for Halloween, but it looked like Angie thought that kabocha and pumpkins were entirely different things. Everyone laughed, but Angie, not knowing why she was being laughed at, cocked her head to one side discontentedly. Just when it looked like she was about to get in a bad mood and start grumbling, Maria started teaching her a cookie game, and Angie immediately became engrossed with that distraction. Because Angie is 6. And that's how children at age 6 are. Then the sound of approaching footsteps drifted in from the hallway. When the relatives realized whose footsteps those must be, they straightened up. Those quick footsteps stopped for a moment just outside the parlor door, as though someone was taking a deep breath and setting up a dramatic pause. Then, the door exploded open as Kinzo yelled out loud, with Genji and Nanjo standing behind him.
Hey, fuckos, I'm alive this time. Happy Halloween! And trick or treat!
Oh no! Oh no! Of course, in like Angie's happy ending version, right? Kinzo has to be like the good grandpa, right? Yeah. Oh God, that is one menacing screen cap right there. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
Trick or
trick or treat.
The cousins shouted it back. The adults returned the greeting too, looking embarrassed and refusing to meet his gaze. Angie alone stood there with her mouth open, unable to comprehend what had just happened.
Welcome, my grandchildren. If you don't give me a treat, I shall trick you.
Go ahead, Maria.
Happy Halloween, grandfather. I got you a really incredible one this year. You'll be surprised.
Maria picked up a present that had been hidden behind a sofa. Come to think of it, all the relatives were now holding similar packages. This is almost like distressingly saccharine. Like, I know we've been through 7 episodes of hell to get here, but like, holy shit.
What I have to wonder is, how does Battler weave this tale so that it still lines up with reality? Because at the end, everybody still has to vanish forever.
He very explicitly said it's on the game board.
Yep.
So, despite everything, this has to fit the rules.
Yep.
Which means that if Grandpa is coming out like this and acting like this, then everyone here is agreeing that that's what the cause, or no one's going to be around to debate the end result later.
Yeah. We know that because at the end of the day, no one survives.
Right.
No one gets off the island. So how do we tell a tale that is happy for Angie's sake,
Yep.
and yet still no one gets off the island?
I wonder if it's going to be something like something magical happens, right? That spirits the entire family away.
Beato shows up and is like, yo, come to my golden land, and everyone does.
Everyone goes to the Golden Land, and that's the happy lie. Maybe. Come on, Angie, you two, give this to Grandfather. Kyrie handed Angie a neatly wrapped present.
Oh, Maria, you're always so thoughtful. Grandpa's so happy.
As Kinzo took Maria's present, a smile broke out across his face, and he rubbed his cheek up against it. Master, your dignity.
Oh, that's right. You have pleased your grandfather greatly, my granddaughter. In return for the treat you have given me, I promise not to trick you at all this coming year.
Yeah, now it's your turn, grandfather. If you don't give me a treat, I'll prank you.
Indeed, I'm well aware.
Gun pranks.
Genji.
You want me to get the gun?
Not yet.
Here. Genji fished through something that looked like a Santa Claus's sack and pulled out a present addressed to Maria, handing it over to Kinzo. What the fuck is happening?
Here you go, Maria. Here's a present from me. I'm warning you, it's so cute. Such a waste to give it up to you.
Master, your dignity.
Yeah. This is a present from the Ushiromiya family head to Maria. It is a cute, an item worthy of the Ushiromiya family's dignity and grace. Take good care of it.
I love this version of Kinzo that is, like, trying to be like the affable grandpa, but keeps getting... It's... Ugh. It almost makes you forget about, the fucking rape.
And everything else bad that he did.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
I feel like every time he does this, we should bring out, like, just the list and be like, oh, that's so fun of you. Anyway, how'd you feel about fucking imprisoning someone on an island away from the rest of the world for 16 years? How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, woo, woo. Thank you, grandfather. I love you. Kiss, kiss.
Oh,
Sound effects in this one.
oh, Maria, my adorable granddaughter.
By this point, even Genji had to give up on Kinzo's dignity. Still, the dignity of the family head had lasted a full 10 seconds longer than usual this year.
Happy Halloween, grandfather. This is from me.
Happy Halloween. This one's mine. I hope you like it.
Oh, George, Jessica, I must thank you once again this year. I'm so happy.
With tears streaming down his face, Kinzo hugged George and Jessica.
I'm just so happy to be alive.
Oh yeah, I can understand why you might be happy about that. That's pretty rad.
In this particular month of this particular year, in
Localized
which I am
entirely
alive
within your...
and not dead. Oh, and Battler too. I'm so glad you've returned to the family. It's been lonely without you these 6 years.
Oh, well, anyway, happy Halloween. Not sure if you like it, though.
Don't worry, Battler. I know you have things you want to say, things you want to ask, but now is not the time.
Oh, grandfather.
I am glad that you've returned to the Ushiromiya family.
It's a weird thing to say, even in, like, this game board.
It makes me feel happy.
You know you have things you want to ask. We have, like, the given reason why Battler left the family, right? I wonder if... Slowly, Kinzo moved forward and hugged Battler. Battler drew back at first, but then he understood Kinzo's feelings and hugged him back. Ange watched the scene play out, shocked. Was Ushiromiya Kinzo always this kind of person?
Hey, Ange. You're up.
Go on, give it to grandfather.
Oh, yeah, that was a little too scratchy for her, but that'll do.
Okay.
Ange didn't have a clue what was going on. She took the present her mother had given her and walked forward timidly. Kinzo's face, which had looked so cheery a second ago, suddenly became stern as soon as Ange stepped forward. No, it didn't become stern. That expression was the one always worn by the Kinzo inside Ange's mind. This was Ushiromiya Kinzo. He was fickle, short-tempered, and always wore a stern expression on his face. This was the most terrifying person in the Ushiromiya family. It felt as though the world went suddenly quiet, and it only did it when I stepped forward. Why?
Why? Oh, right. Why?
Sorry.
Why only for me?
When we got to the the first person article there, I was like, oh, you'll take over, right? Right?
But isn't this how it should be? Isn't this the Ushiromiya Kinzo I expect? The Ushiromiya Kinzo I understand? I was like a puppet carrying a tea tray. I walked forward, bewildered, with the present held out in front of me, and stopped in front of Kinzo. Without letting his expression change in the slightest, Kinzo slowly reached out and touched the present. Ange!
In an instant, Ange was caught in a firm embrace, present and all. Kinzo's white beard rubbed against her cheek.
Grandpa is so happy. I'm so glad to be blessed with such lovely grandchildren. I feel happy. So happy the years just won't just won't stop.
Master, your nose is running. That and your dignity.
Oh, Genji, forgive me.
As the old man blew his nose, he didn't look like he could possibly be anyone other than a kindly grandpa, overcome with tears at his grandchildren's gifts.
Thank you, Ange. I heard that you chose to come, even though you weren't feeling well at all. I'm so glad. Here, this is for you.
He pressed a large gift box to Angie's chest. She finally realized that all of Kinzo's presents were wrapped differently and in boxes of different sizes. Oh, I wonder what he got you, Angie. I hear that grandfather always personally chooses what he'll give each one of us. Pretty incredible with all these people. Oh, he bought me a binder this year. That's so kind of him.
He picks them himself. Every year. He does what every year? He picks what himself? This bizarre ceremony happens every year. The cousins were all happily chattering about what their Halloween presents would be
Yeah,
this
so there's
year.
a lot of studies about how unsafe they are, but when you kind of dig down into the details, right, they always kind of have an agenda with the data set that they're using, so I don't know, as long as it's comfortable, right?
It's back to third person.
Oh,
isn't
it is, yep. Maria came up to Angie and suggested that they compare the weights of their presents. But for some reason, Angie just stared blankly. After that, the adults also handed their presents to Kinzo one by one, receiving a gift in return, along with considerate words about their health and questions about how they'd been doing recently. Then, after watching to see that all exchanges had been completed, Goda appeared and announced that lunch was ready.
Ah, is it ready? Come, ladies and gentlemen, let us enjoy this splendid lunch that Goda has prepared for us. Quickly, to the dining hall.
Oh, this way, everyone. Follow me.
We'll carry your presents to your rooms in the guest house.
Please feel free to leave them here as you leave for lunch. The relatives stood up, leaving their presents where they lay on the tables and sofas, and followed Kinzo out of the parlor. Only Angie remained standing there, stunned, as she clutched the present Kinzo had given her. Not gonna lie, this is probably like the most uncomfortable I've felt playing this. Not the most uncomfortable,
I was
but
gonna say.
it's up there. It's way higher than you'd expect, right? Goda's lunches had never betrayed expectations before. When Hideyoshi had said that these meals were the only reason anyone ever came to these family conferences, everyone laughed and nodded. The delicious food caused conversations to erupt all over the room. You've gotten so big. How have you been lately? Pretty good. It was a fun meal, with everyone asking each other about the latest and laughing together. The Ushiromiya family sat at meals in a specific ranked seating order. The adult siblings, the cousins, and spouses all sat in groups, so conversation sprung up naturally. Angie had withdrawn slightly from the cousins' chat and was looking around the dining hall. What are Kinzo and the adult siblings doing? Their conversation seemed to be peaceful and fun. Most of the time, the siblings were mothers or fathers of their own households. However, when they gathered together by themselves in front of Kinzo, that burden was lifted from their shoulders. Was it? They became young and bright as though they had gone back to being kids again. Is that what happens? Rudolph, who was usually an easygoing father who nonetheless had a sense of dignity, became so bright and cheery in this group that it almost looked like there was another battler. Okay, yeah, sure, buddy. Even Kinzo looked peaceful and relaxed. He didn't say a word about money or the inheritance. In fact, he didn't insult his children or call them incompetent, which is something that I, Angie, know to look out for, apparently. He just looked like a happy old man, genuinely pleased to have his whole family together for the only time this year. The group of spouses was just as harmonious. The mothers kept bringing up problems with education and household matters, as well as family health issues. Hideyoshi and Nanjo happily joined in on their conversation. And what about the cousins? There was no way such an enjoyable meal with such a fun group of friends could fail to be raucous. Maria was in her element, showing off her knowledge of Halloween trivia. George and Jessica would nod in understanding. Battler would say something stupid, and Maria would laugh at him.
Oh. If I wanted, I could easily join in on that conversation.
Nope, she doesn't have a bottom.
And if the dessert caught my attention, I could easily slip out of the conversation too. It was happiness, both fun and natural. It felt like waking up from a daydream to be greeted by the rays of the springtime sun.
According to the weather report, we can expect a big storm sometime tonight.
It's supposed to be a typhoon. Looks like we'll be stuck here for more than one night again.
I do not mind in the least. You may stay here as long as you wish. If it would mean seeing my adorable grandchildren's faces more, I would pray for rain every day.
Give us a break. We do have work to get back to after all.
Why don't you leave the island, Father? That way you could see your grandchildren whenever you wanted.
True! Living on a remote island may have a sense of majesty, but haven't you had your fill of it?
It's too noisy in the city. I much prefer a quiet island with no one on it but my family. I like it here.
But on Rokkenjima, if something happens, it would take some time for a doctor to arrive.
I agree. At your age, I think you should at least consider moving to Nijima.
I'm old now. I want to live in peace, surrounded only by my family. And I'm satisfied. I have this island to make that dream of mine come true.
Father?
It seems I've gotten you all down. Ladies and gentlemen, this ends Goda's lunch. Grandchildren, it will probably be raining constantly starting tomorrow. Now is your last chance to see clear skies. Why not enjoy the flowers and then take a walk on the beach?
That sounds good. Okay, everyone. Let's go.
Ew, woo, 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 woo. I want to see the flowers and walk on the beach. We can collect shells and collect glass, too.
Oh, collect glass, huh? That, sounds a bit dangerous.
Fragments of glass get washed by the waves and become round, beautiful gems which drift to shore. Did you forget, Battler? Remember how we used to pick them up together?
Oh, were those glass fragments? I thought they were just pretty stones.
Have you ever seen a glass gem, Angie?
No.
Then let's go. I'll show you. Let's go, let's go. But first to see them gets to keep them. I need to get them all.
In that case, I'm not going to lose either. Let's see who can find the prettiest, biggest glass gem.
Oh, all right. At times like this, why not be a kid, right? I'm not gonna lose either.
Then we'll head down to the beach. Indeed. Take it easy and enjoy your time together, grandchildren.
The cousins rose from their seats and noisily left the dining hall. Maria grabbed Angie's hand and dragged her along. However, Angie's expression was vague and absent-minded, the opposite of Maria's full smile. Damn. This is a lot so far. I don't know how to feel about this. You got thoughts?
Battler's story is too sweet to be believable. It's not gonna work.
It's just... It's one of those, like, yeah, it just feels like one of those ones where you're like, here's everything you wanted. Oh no, this sucks. Part 2. Forgot how long these Umineko episodes will run.
Beach episode.
Yes! Finally! A beach episode in Umineko no Naku Koro ni. Just what it was missing. Nothing bad happens on the beaches. You know, on the side of the water. There's some cliffs there, but you can be careful around them, right? Right, buddy? The cousins walked along the beach, playing in all kinds of ways. They searched for bits of glass, polished by the waves to become small and gem-like. They caught up on news of each other's lives and joked around. They wrote words in the sand. They chased the receding waves and ran away from the coming ones. The cousins enjoyed the time they had to themselves.
Oh, get back here, Maria. You won't get off easy this time. Whoa!
Kya.
Wait.
Kya. No, wait, yeah.
You'll get hurt if you fall. Be careful, you two. Feels like the wind's gotten stronger. Maybe we should head back soon. You're right. I think the sky's getting cloudier, too. Battler-kun, Maria-chan. I think we should call it a day soon and head back to the guest house for the time being.
No way. I want to play more.
Hey. Don't ignore your cousin. Okay, that's all for now. Here, I'll give you my glass gem.
You really? Thank you, Battler, doing a very good impression of Cousin George. Now I have the most, so I win. You.
Angie, are you okay? Buster Wolf?
Oh, what's wrong, Angie? I didn't take you for a Fatal Fury fan. You look a little bit down.
She's just tired out. Come on, let's all head back together.
Angie's expression probably did look tired. However, Battler alone thought he saw something else in it.
Oh, what's wrong? Can you tell me?
It's nothing.
She said that, but something in her expression showed that she was unsatisfied for some reason. Since Angie didn't say what it was and Battler couldn't think of anything, he was unable to guess anymore, so he squeezed her small hand, silently letting her know that she could tell him whenever she was ready.
Hey. Big bro moment. Big bromance, if you will. Yeah?
Yeah.
Are we bonding?
Yeah.
Are we bonding, Tiny Angie?
Even though it had seemed like such a bright sunny day just a second ago, the sky turned gray, and the wind started to feel more annoying than pleasant. They waited around, they would probably see scattered raindrops as well soon.
I guess it'll be raining the whole time from now on. What a pain. Still, even though it didn't last long, it was fun to be a kid again.
Ew, I can't wait to show Mama this glass gem. I'm gonna tell her I won.
Even though you only won because I gave you mine, huh?
Ew, a win's a win. It's not my fault you helped me stock to the tournament, bro. I got it, so it's mine. I won. Ew.
Angie walked distractedly, pulled along by her brother. George and the others thought that she had probably woken up too early and was tired, so they didn't try to talk to her much. As they reached the end of the forested path, the rose garden lay before them. They could see strong winds making the rose bushes wave.
Mama, look, I won.
Maria ran forward, waving her hands about and yelling. It looked as though Rosa was waving to them from the front of the guest house.
I'm gonna head back to my room for a sec. I'll meet you in the cousin room right after. Okay, got it. See you later then.
Jessica ran off in the direction of the mansion. George turned around as though suggesting that they had better get going as well. However, when he saw Angie standing still with a crabby look on her face, he realized that something might have put her into a bad mood.
Is everything okay?
Oh, yeah, she's fine. Sorry, but would you mind going on ahead of us?
Sure, got it. See you later.
George headed for the guest house. The only ones left in the rose garden were Battler, who was waving at George, and Angie, who was still staring at the ground and holding Battler's hand. For the past few minutes, he had repeatedly asked Angie what was wrong. He realized that this wasn't anything like a stomachache or something obvious that had made her grumpy. However, young girls sometimes get upset for reasons that only they can understand. Battler knew this, so he didn't rush her in any way, and continued to gaze around the beautiful rose garden, holding her hand. Battler doing the big bro thing I love it so much.
Oni-chan,
What is it?
where are we?
She asked the question as though she was talking about something on the other side of the silver screen. Though Battler understood what that question meant, he played dumb.
Oh, where are we? We're on Rokkenjima, right?
You're wrong.
No, I'm not.
How is this Rokkenjima?
It's the Rokkenjima of October 4th, 1986. The Rokkenjima you've wanted to see for so long.
That's a lie.
Why do you say that?
This is totally fake.
Angie wrenched her hand from her brother's grip. That hand hit a rose and sent flower petals flying.
I don't lie.
How is this supposed to be the truth?
Angie spat those words out. However, Battler's expression remained calm and composed.
What don't you like about it?
Ushiromiya Kinzo, for example. He wasn't anything like that, right?
Oh, what grandfather wouldn't smile when he's been reunited with his grandchildren after a long time?
Ushiromiya Kinzo wasn't that kind of person. Ushiromiya Kinzo was...
Dead? Strict, disconnected, short-tempered, and quick to anger?
So you do understand. What was all that back there? How was that supposed to be Ushiromiya Kinzo? Halloween, exchanging presents. What the hell was that? That's nothing like Ushiromiya Kinzo. This is nothing like Rokkenjima.
Don't you remember, Angie?
Remember what?
We did that every year, didn't we?
Every year? That?
Well, I guess it's no surprise. Last time you went to a family conference, you were less than 6 years old, so it's only natural that you wouldn't remember.
It's only natural that I don't remember?
Angie understood what her brother was trying to say. However, she couldn't accept it.
It's true that Ushiromiya Kinzo was a rigid man. When he was younger, he was really strict with his kids, apparently. And, well, it's probably not wrong to say that it was pretty traumatic for Dad and the others, and that they're still a bit scared of him.
The grand tale of how Kinzo restored the Ushiromiya family was more than enough to paint him as a rigid, terrifying man. Furthermore, Kinzo was an investor. All the legends and tales that made him seem more mysterious had probably worked in his business's favor. At times, Kinzo may have even acted out this part as people expected, endeavoring to make his presence all the more overpowering. That is why the world at large spoke of Ushiromiya Kinzo as a strict, short-tempered man, and they even thought of him as a fickle, bold, and incomprehensible eccentric.
But that was just the face grandfather showed to the world. That's not how he acted in private, alone with his family.
Are you saying that weeping old man who doted on his grandchildren is the real Ushiromiya Kinzo?
He must have played with you and patted your head many times. Do you really not remember?
I think this is Angie's.
Stuff like that might have happened once or twice, but that must have been a mere whim of his. My parents told me all the time, grandfather is a terrifying person, so make sure you act properly. They always said that he's very scary, so take care. And that means he was a scary person.
Well, he can be both, right?
Well, when you were little, you would always accept whatever your parents said and take it too seriously. To put it nicely, you were obedient, but to put it bluntly, you were a kid with an overactive imagination. Dad and the others were just trying to make you realize how important it was to be polite.
I saw it, though. I knew about it. I knew that Ushiromiya Kinzo was a scary person. I've even seen him yelling in anger. I'll never forget it.
Well, like you saw just now, grandfather could be a bit abrupt at times. He might just have been trying to surprise you, or might have slipped out when he was having a serious discussion with his kids.
And you think I just got scared for no reason and got the wrong idea? That can't be true. I mean, I still remember it. I know I saw Ushiromiya Kinzo yelling and being scary. Mom and Dad were terrified too, so I know I'm right.
The impression you had of grandfather when you were young remained with you, and that impression grew inside of you as you grew up.
How many times did Angie see Kinzo in her life? How old was she the last time she saw him? Angie, who got sick easily when under pressure, couldn't have gone to Rokkenjima often. And since she was absent for the family conference when she was 6, her last memories of him must have come from when she was just 5 years old.
But even you haven't seen Ushiromiya Kinzo for 6 years.
Oh, that's right. But when I finally came back after 6 years, I saw that grandfather hadn't changed in the slightest.
Kinzo was...
Before we go on, can we also notice the part, like, that's the part she has issue with, not the fact that he's dead? Not the fact that Shannon and Cannon are two simultaneously existing people. Not like... that's where you're picking the problems with?
All right.
I think it makes perfect sense though. She had never met. She ever? I guess she would have met Shannon at one point.
She might have met Shannon, but she would have been very young.
Yeah,
Like
she
younger than 6, so...
She would never have been here for Canon to be a person to her or any of that. And like the bits to latch onto absolutely would be the traumatic bits from her own childhood that stuck with her and grew with her.
And I think what this is getting is that's not wrong. Like those are definitely experiences that she had, and I don't think Battler's trying to downplay that, but I think he's also trying to show her the best possible version of that he can without, this is what things could have been like with no lies, but some very wishful thinking maybe.
Oh, Kinzo was fickle, so you could never understand what he was thinking, and...
Oh no, this is Angie. Sorry.
Kinzo was fickle, so you could never understand what he was thinking, and he was an eccentric with a creepy love for the occult, and...
Oh, it's true that he had a love for the occult. Yeah, it was a bit of a strange hobby for him to get into in his final years. I'll admit that his hobby of collecting strange objects to scare his grandchildren and laugh at them wasn't exactly praiseworthy.
Even Battler had been pranked by Kinzo in the past. He'd do things like showing off an attaché case with the 7 strange stakes in it. Are you kidding? All right. And say something about how they were once used in the Middle Ages to gouge out the hearts of victims in a witch's serum. Sorry, just gonna blow past that, I guess. When Kinzo did things like that, it was pretty scary, but looking back on it now, they really were childish pranks. Grandfather only scared his grandchildren because he wanted to joke around with them.
I'd be willing to bet that grandfather pulled a prank like that on you, too. No surprise that, young as you were, you let that scare you and convince you that grandfather was a strange and terrifying person.
I don't know what you're talking about, Oni-chan.
Angie bit her lower lip and stared at the ground. She said she didn't understand, but in truth she understood perfectly and was refusing to accept it.
Remember how we traded Halloween presents in the parlor just now?
What was that all about? The Ushiromiya family never did anything that sentimental.
It's almost as though you don't remember it at all.
Are you saying I got presents once too? I don't remember anything like that. That could never happen.
Do you really think that grandfather, a man who loved the occult and Western traditions, wouldn't celebrate Halloween? Grandfather's Happy Halloween was pretty much the standard greeting at our family conferences. He must have said it to you too. Youth could be so cruel. Even though grandfather put all his heart into choosing those presents, it looks like your heart didn't remember anything.
Are you saying that I was just too young to remember? And that was the truth of October 4th?
On that day, just like 6 years before, grandfather entered the parlor with a cry of Happy Halloween.
Oh, then he and I traded presents as he shed tears over our long-awaited reunion after a 6-year gap. Grandfather seemed so sad that Angie wasn't able to come. So he gave Kirie-san a present, telling her to make sure that Angie got it.
I never heard anything about a present like that.
Well, I don't...
Mom never gave it to me.
Okay, so there are reasons. That's true. She never had the chance.
I don't believe it. I won't believe that was Ushiromiya Kinzo. Then what about the family conference itself? Wasn't there a tense argument over the distribution of the inheritance?
All of the adult siblings were in...
All of the adult siblings were in money trouble. That's why they all longed for Kinzo's inheritance money.
Angie, where did you hear that from?
What do you mean, where? It's the truth, isn't it?
Do you think Dad would talk to you about financial difficulties with his company when you were that age? And not just Dad. Even if Uncle Kraus, Aunt Eva, and Aunt Rosa were in money trouble and wanted Kinzo's inheritance money, do you really think they'd talk about it in front of you?
But it's true, isn't it?
In the end, it was true. Angie's words were not mistaken. Not only Rudolph, but even Kraus, Hideyoshi, and Rosa had companies in money trouble. People started talking about the Rokkenjima explosion accident as though it was some sort of conspiracy, and a mystery imagined by the public covered the island. Weekly magazines and television shows researched the circumstances of Kinzo's children at the time, and in the future where Ange lived, that research had been made public.
The true villain of this Umineko no Naku Koroni is the True Crime Podcasters.
Shit! Is this just a... At the end of the day, isn't that what it's all about? Oh, man. Actually, podcasting was a thing when this... Because this was mid-aughts, right?
For a moment, I thought you meant in 1986, and I was like, there was radio.
I'm
the
just
original
wondering, like,
podcast.
Was it Serial that was the original, like, breakout true crime podcast?
I don't know.
I think that
believe
might have post-dated it. So I don't know if that... I don't think that was informing this writing, but regardless. You learned about all of that after 1986.
But it's a fact, isn't it? There's no difference between facts and truth.
Does that prove the inheritance created an atmosphere, a strained atmosphere between the relatives and Rokkenjima? I guess that might fit with your memory of your parents telling you repeatedly to be extra polite at the family conference.
Are you saying that what I know about Rokkenjima, what I know about the Ushiromiya family, is wrong? You're the one who's wrong, Oni-chan.
I don't think he's saying that she's wrong. I think he's just saying that those are the only facts you have, so those are the ones you're going to stress when you're recreating the scenario in your head.
Yep, at the end of the day, it is a cat box that you cannot get into.
Right.
And the facts that you know, while true, don't tell you what happened in it, and you can choose to take the most miserable, life-ruining view of it if you want and stew on it forever, or you can choose not to.
Or you can choose to, yeah. In short, I believe that what he's getting at is facts don't care about her feelings.
I'm not so sure that's the message.
I felt dirty just saying that.
There's no way something like that could be possible. I won't accept that that was Ushiromiya Kinzo. I could never accept that.
So you don't believe, Angie?
That's right, I don't believe. I don't understand why you're showing me something like this. After all, this is your game. No, your game board, isn't it?
Oh.
First it was Beato and Burn. Oh.
First it...
Who's
This is still...
okay.
Yeah.
First it was Beato and Burn. One witch after another has sneered at my fate, trying to make me surrender in their games, but I want the truth. Witch illusions won't work on me. Now I get it. You damn witches. So you've sent Oni-chan as a final assassin to finish me off.
You're right. This is my game. So of course this is my tale and I'm the one making it. That's why I'm able to add in what-if situations like, what would happen if you came to the island too?
See? You made this tale. It's all a pack of lies, a fiction you created.
You're right. This is all a fiction that I created.
See? You've admitted it. You have, haven't you? Just like I thought. This is all a lie you made. Why are you lying to me? Why won't you tell me the truth?
Because there is something I need you to understand. There's something that is more important than truth.
Something more important than the truth? What the hell are you talking about?
You've got a mouth for a 6-year-old. The purpose of my game is to make you understand that. Just as Beato's games were made to make a battler believe in witches, Battler's game was made to show Angie something that was more important than the truth. Games never bring about their intended ends by force. After all, Beato's game could never be won for all eternity unless Battler acknowledged witches on his own. Battler's game was the same. Battler couldn't win in this game unless Angie acknowledged it herself. The Battler had advanced this game just as Beato had done in the past. To believe it or not. To accept it or not. The decision lay solely in the hands of the opponent. And so, Battler was trying to enshroud Angie with his own illusion.
I finally get it. This is a game between me and you, Oni-chan.
Angie, I'm not
trying to challenge you to a game.
No, this is a game. I made a wish, hoping to learn the truth of October 4th, 1986, and so you invited me to this game, saying that you'd show me the truth. And now you're showing me this strange illusion, trying to make me believe that it's the truth. Well, too bad. I'm already used to dealing with witches. I can totally tell that you're trying to use that kind face of yours to trick me.
The big brother realized that no words of his would have any effect on his enraged little sister, so he just quietly listened to Angie's words. But even so, Angie was dissatisfied.
I've had more than enough of this stupid farce. If you don't plan on telling me the truth, then end it all now. I'll find my own truth for myself. I won't rely on you. That's right. There never was anyone I could rely on anyway. I've always been all alone.
And that small sentence right there really encapsulating that mindset, like what Battler's been trying to point out to her for a little while now about how it's very much fucking the what's the word for it? Doomer brain, right? Or catastrophizing, catastrophizing, however you pronounce that. Where like you take the worst thing that you know and you spin out only the worst possible interpretation and series of events that follow it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get so consumed and mired in that you don't consider any other way that things could be.
Mm-hmm.
And convince yourself that only the worst possible case could be the truth. And that's kind of what Angie's doing.
Yeah.
And what Battler's trying to get her out of. I'm sorry. I won't let you leave this game.
Ah, that's right. Unless the game master admits defeat, the game never ends, right?
That isn't what I meant. I'm just telling you to stay quiet and listen.
Oh, sure. I'll just stay quiet then. Even if a player isn't around, the pieces just move by themselves and the game moves forward. Isn't that how it works?
That's right. A player can step back and become an observer for a while if they want, and they can return and join in whenever they want to.
Then I'll do that. This is an endurance contest. It'll keep on going until you stop trying to cover up the truth. Something more important than the truth? I don't get it. How could anything like that exist?
It does, Angie. Whether my tale is the truth or not, the fact remains that you lost something precious on this island.
Dad, Mom, and you, Oni-chan. I lost my family and everything that mattered to me.
She spat out those words as though no further questioning would do any good and looked away. Even as he watched this, Battler's expression remained gentle.
Just keep going however you like. Later, Oni-chan.
At least make sure that you watch the tale. Even just listening is enough.
If I feel like it. Later.
Angie's eyes clouded. Then a particularly strong gust of wind blew by, sending her hair flying. The wind must have been carrying some dust with it. Angie's nose twitched and she sneezed loudly.
Oni-chan?
Oh, hello. What is it?
How long are we going to stand here? The weather's all weird. Let's go back to the guest house.
Angie's eyes weren't cloudy anymore. However, the tone and atmosphere about those eyes seemed somehow different from before. In a manner typical of young girls, Angie signaled that she was too bored and wanted to go do something. This Angie was clearly a 6-year-old Angie.
Oh, good point. Then why don't you head back to the guest house now? I'm going to stay here for a bit.
Why? It'll start raining soon.
Oh, it won't be long now, so I'll wait here a little bit longer.
You're waiting here? Who are you waiting for? Huh?
Gado.
Then, to Angie's eyes, it looked as though the strong winds were carrying flakes of gold along with them. No, she had definitely seen something, but she wasn't able to describe what she had seen.
so to her it had seemed like flakes of gold dancing on the wind. "Oh, so here you are. I've been waiting a little while now." It was as though he was talking to the wind. Battler spoke to the empty rose garden. That can't be right. After all, it was clear from his words that he was talking to someone right in front of him. So Angie thought it must be someone that she alone couldn't see, and she rubbed her eyes. Then when she opened her eyes wide, another large gust of wind blew past her. She shut her eyes immediately, and when she timidly opened them, from the other end of the rose garden, yes, from the path that led up from the harbor, a person appeared. To Angie, it looked as though she had appeared along with a cloud of gold flakes carried by the wind. "Oh, that's just pollen. You might want to keep your eyes shut a little bit longer." "Oh, you're late, Beato."
Better late than late.
What?
Am I? I'd call it early.
Wait, how is being late better than being late? It's the same thing. You should ride in the boat with us every now and then.
You mean grasp the handrail and scream alongside you?
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's scream. Fall, fall.
I see. How interesting. Yes, I suppose I did arrive too late.
The pair casually walked up to each other and hugged. It looked like a pair of friends being reunited after several years. Angie, surprised by this unfamiliar woman, looked for somewhere to hide. However, her eyes met Beato's, and she was unable to escape.
Oh, and you must be Angie.
This one is Tangy, actually. Tiny Angie. We're working on it.
She was shocked to hear this unfamiliar woman suddenly use her name.
Look, even she can be so cute when she's 6 years old. Oni-chan, who is this person?
Oh, it's a friend of mine.
A friend? How can you say that?
The lightning crack.
Well, anything else and you get into weird territory.
Oni-chan's friend?
This is Beatrice. You've heard from Grandfather, haven't you? About the Golden Witch who gave the Ushiromiya family its gold?
Haven't I heard that before? The Golden Witch. Now I remember. That was the scary witch who would snatch you up and carry you off into the forest if you didn't listen to your parents or stayed up too late on Rokkenjima. Mom said that on rainy nights, if you look out the window at the dark forest, you might see the witch looking back at you and get snatched away. Which must mean that I'm supposed to be wandering about in the cold rain, looking into each window to find kids staying up too late? How pathetic that would be.
Good point. Oh my god, I have Kinzo's laugh now. Angie, your parents just made that story up to get you to go to bed on time. Beatrice doesn't do stuff like that.
Very well. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Beatrice, the Golden Witch.
Or her grandchild, at least.
Grandchild? That grandchild part's a bit of a killjoy.
Yeah, that's kind of underselling it. Well, it's true, isn't it? The person that Grandfather got the gold from and called the Golden Witch was your grandmother, right?
I guess. The grandchild of the Golden Witch, am I? Can't I get a better title than that? Is this person a witch?
Yup, she is. She's a guest who's been invited to the family conference today.
She isn't a scary witch? She's not going to take me away into the forest? Damn Rudolph and Kyrie. Just what do they think they're telling this kid about me? I don't do things like that. I'll lodge a firm protest later.
She looked like a fiercely emotional person, but she wasn't at all what Angie had expected the creepy Golden Witch to be like. She was very loud, overreacting to everything. Nothing at all like the witch Maria One-chan had talked about, who lived for 1,000 years and had various servants from the demon world. She looked, well, like an energetic young woman, the kind Angie's mom might have gotten along great with. Her brother and the witch talked together happily like a pair of close friends. Dogs tend not to trust people they meet for the first time, However, people say that they calm down once they see that their owner is on good terms with the stranger. Surely something similar to this was going on in Angie's heart. Oh, Angie, you dog. Apparently. Angie kept staring at this pushy, temperamental woman who called herself a witch, as she chatted happily with her brother.
What's this key for? Oh,
Beato
what's this key for?
noticed the gold key hanging from Angie's neck. Angie automatically and defensively grasped it. Oh, that's Angie's precious key. Don't steal the precious key, you witch. I've listened to songs about witches stealing the precious items. After hearing these vague words, the witch stared blankly for a second. But almost immediately, she seemed to understand what he meant.
I see. Is that how it is?
I thought it'd be easier to understand if I made it clear what she's supposed to do.
Fear not, Angie. No one's going to steal your precious key. Are you sure? Of course, that key belongs to you, and the choice is yours. Battler and the rest of us are merely signposts to guide you on your path.
When her brother gave her the key, he had said that it was very important, so she had to take good care of it. Angie didn't have a clue what the key was for, but it looked like Beato did. However, just like her brother had done earlier, Beato only spoke in riddles. This irritated Angie. For the time being, the Golden Witch said that she didn't intend to steal the key, so Angie calmed down a little.
Do you know what this key is used for? But of course. However, I cannot tell you. Why not? Because you must decide how to use that key for yourself.
The witch said the same thing.
The witch said the same thing as my brother. The pair nodded to each other, but it was all Greek to me.
Oh, Telos.
It felt like someone had laid out a riddle that everyone knew but me, and everyone was making fun of me.
Spericopita.
You'll know soon enough. Don't waste time thinking about it.
Angie held the key tightly. Even if she didn't understand what it meant, it was her own key, and her big brother had told her to take good care of it. With her youthful suspicion, she was scared that the witch might ask her to hand it over, saying that she'd teach her how to use it. Of course, her thoughts showed up clearly on her face. The witch couldn't help but laugh at that honest expression.
Fear not. It is impossible for anyone to steal that key from you. No one can steal it? You might say that it has been imbued with magic to make it so. At any rate, fear not. Neither I, nor Battler, nor anyone else on this island can steal that key from you. Really?
Yeah, really. The magic won't let them. The key was hanging around her neck like an ordinary necklace. Angie could take it off right now if she wanted, and if an adult tried to use force, it seemed like it would be easy for them to take it away. However, both her brother and the witch said that it was protected by a magic that would stop anyone from stealing it.
Does magic really exist?
Even the 6-year-old Angie knew about the word magic. However, she also realized that real magic didn't exist, and that certain kinds of magic tricks were sometimes called magic. However, her brother and the witch were talking about magic itself. Yeah, magic exists.
Really? Maria spoke of me often, did she not? She says that witches exist. And she often tells you that magic exists, correct?
True, Maria had talked about that many times. When they were just playing, Angie had believed her, more or less. However, Angie was, in some ways, sharp for her age, and when she heard Maria talking happily about magic, she sometimes thought that such a thing couldn't really exist.
Then, show me. Show me magic. Well,
Right, we'll show you magic.
or I won't believe you.
Oh, hold up a sec. Beto just arrived on the island. She hasn't even gone to say hi to everyone at the mansion yet.
Battler spoke as though he was trying to smooth something over. When she heard that, Angie became sure that the magic didn't exist after all.
Magic is just a bunch of lies. I know.
Hey, stop that. You'll hurt Beto's feelings.
No, it's no problem. Anyone would say that upon meeting a witch. Normally, I would ignore provocation from such a small child, but she is your little sister after all. Why don't we give her a special showing?
Oh, are you sure?
Of course I am. Watch carefully, Angie. Okay.
Though Angie had challenged the witch, now that she was about to be shown magic, she looked a bit hesitant.
Shoulder war towers!
Shit. She gulped, then stared up at the witch's face. The witch held out her left hand, bringing it close to Angie's face. Then she slowly spread her fingers. Angie, thinking that she was about to be turned into a frog, shrank back. However, after waiting a while and grinding her teeth, she realized that nothing was happening. So the part of her that had been... Hold on.
This is a bop.
Oh, yeah! Comment section, do your thing, please. Alright, sorry, I'm back in it. So the part of her that had been scared began to get
This is in
angry.
7.
It is! That's rad! Oh, I love that. I'm a big fan of 7.
Nothing's happening. Don't jump to conclusions. I haven't used magic yet. See, look carefully at my palm. I'm not hiding anything, correct?
Oh, so that's what she's doing. Now that she finally understood, Angie checked both sides of the witch's hand.
Yeah, there's nothing there. Watch closely. I'll make a fist, and then stretch out my index finger.
She stretched out her index finger and held it right in front of Angie's eyes. Angie, thinking that she'd lose the game if she took a step back, stood her ground and concentrated on the fingertip.
Watch the tip of my finger closely. Ready? It'll be fast.
The witch rapidly lifted her index finger high into the air, pointing at the heavens. Just as Angie looked up to see the finger raised high, it swung down as though trying to dodge her gaze. In that manner. Up, down, left, right, then left again. Angie was feeling as though she'd lose if she couldn't keep up with the fingertip, swung her face this way and that, looking serious. Ever since she was very young, Angie had hated to lose. She would take even the most trivial games seriously, determined not to lose to the adults. The witch's hand moved faster and faster. Angie didn't lose track of it. Then the high pointing finger swung down all of a sudden. The index finger curled up again, and the hand was held in a simple fist. Could it be that something was going to come out of that hand? Angie, who had suspected that this might happen, had followed the finger very closely. There was no way that the once empty hand could have grabbed anything.
Ready? I'm going to open my hand.
The witch slowly opened her right fist. And there...
What? How? How, Oni-chan?
The witch gave the cutely wrapped candy to Angie as a present. Enjoy your pumpkin candy. Angie took it and desperately searched for some kind of trick on it, but it was just an everyday, ordinary candy.
How? That was a trick, wasn't it, Oni-chan? Oni-chan!
Nope, that was magic. You were watching the whole time, weren't you?
Did you see the tiny little bit?
Since I was watching the whole time, how did it happen?
Angie didn't like it, but she was unable to see how that could have been anything other than magic. The little sister furrowed her brow and bit her lower lip. Her brother gently told her again that it was magic.
It's about time for me to head to the mansion to pay my respects. You should come along, Battler. I'll suffocate if I have to go alone.
Oh, you sure? Then I'll join you. What about you, Angie? Will you go back to the guest house?
I want to stay with you, Oni-chan.
She still couldn't accept it. However, could it really be? She still looked grumpy, but it looked like she was getting interested in this witch.
Then let us go.
The Golden Witch returns.
Oh, the Golden Witch's grandchild returns, you mean?
We really need to do something about that
These
name.
two have such fucking sitcom energy right now. I love it.
Yeah.
The big brother and the witch really did seem close. With kindred spirits like a pair of comedians, they started walking.
Bros.
Angie held onto the corner of her brother's sleeve, trying to make sure that he didn't forget about her, among the furious chanting of bros.
Big brother, can I be a bro too?
Well, sure, if you want to. It could be anything you want to, Angie.
Oh, this is delightful, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the final episode, so I feel like it's giving us a whole bunch of levity. Like it's the final episode of the game, right?
Yeah.
And generally, like, the way you'd write this is that you'd have some measure of levity that would feel maybe insincere if you had done it sooner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something to kind of reward the audience for getting that far in. And then given how this game has been going, it's probably going to end with a major fucking, not a downer, but like a very sad, like not necessarily like bad, not necessarily good, but like a sad ending, I feel.
All right, we know how it ends in one sense. No one leaves the island alive.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
We've got to find our way there, but maybe we find our way there in a way that is less miserable than what we were led to believe.
Yeah, I can see that. Anyway, thank you for joining us. We're glad to be back in it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, episodes will be Monday, Friday as usual until we get to a certain point. We've been informed of a point where we should stop and then switch over to a final live stream for the last couple chapters of the game.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so don't worry. We're gonna do a big finale thingy. It'll be great. Thank you all for being along for the ride, and enjoy being in the home stretch now.
Yeah.
Bye.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.